Hello Makale, welcome back to PathToExpert video series. For people who are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also follow me in all the social platforms. Let's get into today's video.
It's day 16 and today we'll start seeing about console API. Most of the JavaScript developers use console.log, but many doesn't know console is a web API or a browser API. And more than console.log, console has so many other features or so many other methods which are useful as well. We'll be seeing some of the most useful methods and their practical use cases. The first one we'll be seeing is console.assert. So what this assert does is it takes two values. First is a condition and second is the data to be printed. And if the condition is true, the data will not be printed, and if the condition is false, the data will be printed. Let's check it. I'll pass true and then I'll print test. If you see here, nothing is printed now. But if I pass false, if you see here now, I get an error. Assertion failed, and the error message is test, which is something I have passed. This console.assert is highly useful when you want to intimate the user maybe in a dev tool or in a CLI or in a browser environment for a developer. Say if a condition is false and if you want to throw them some meaningful error message, you can use this. And this is completely ignored if the condition is true. So assert comes handy when you want to do a conditional error message. Next one is clear. You can see, right, my console is completely messed up with so much of data. Now if I call console.clear, it will clear my console. Of course it returns undefined. I prefer using clear console this, but console.clear is useful when you create CLI tools. Sometimes you will run a process and by the end of the process you might want to clear the console and show some meaningful message. That's when console.clear comes into picture. Next we will see about console.count. This is one of the very rare known feature, but one of my personal favorite. So how does it work? Say console.count and it receives a label. Say I create a label called error. So now my label name is error and count is 1. Whenever I execute a console.count with error, my error value gets increased. And say if I want to change the label to warning, I'll make it warn. And I'll keep my warning as 2. Like this, for every label, the count is being maintained. That is, the number of console prints is being maintained. You may think, what is the use of having the number of console outputs using this? If you use just or any other test case libraries, or say if you use Prettier, by the end of the command you will see summaries. It will say like 3 errors and 2 warnings are found. Such things can be kept as a track using the console.count variable. And say if you want to reset the count now, you can always go to count reset. Now if I go on console 1 again, it will start again from 1. This may not be a day-to-day usable thing in our daily front ends, but console.count can be very good feature if you are creating build tools or dev tools or like testing libraries which interact with CLIs a lot. Using this, you can give a consumable summary about the processes you are doing with your tools. Next one is console.debug. It's very similar to console.log with one difference. See here, I am using console.debug and pressing enter, but nothing is being printed. To see the result, you need to change the default levels. Here you need to choose verbose. Only when you choose verbose, the debug's info will be printed. This comes very handy for development modes and for debugging because not every time you will want to make your console look so dirty with all the error messages, warnings and the console logs. Sometimes all you need to do is print some extra metadata or print some extra log information which you may not need always when you open the console, but might need once in a while. Such error messages or such warning messages can be put into console.debug, and by default you will not see those. Your console will look clean, and when you have to debug or find some details about it, you can change the levels in the console and see the debug messages. This comes handy when you are working in a scaled team in a multiple environment where everybody uses some console statements to know about the maybe state change or regex changes. And there, if you use console.debug, it will be easier for you to find something based on your needs. Similarly, we also have a few other things which are very straightforward, like console.error. If you pass something to this console.error, in console.log it will normally log, console.error will create it as an error. Same way, console.warn will create it as a warning. And we have one more thing which is called console.info. Console.info and console.log are pretty much same. They just print it like a normal information. Console.warn print it as a warning, and console.error print the message as an error. When everything is just printing out, what is the use of printing it in different categories? That's because using the filters you can see what you want to see. If you take off info, the info will go off. If you take off warning, the warning will go off. So you can filter and see only the errors or only the warnings or only the infos. That's the reason you need to use the appropriate console statements. Console API is a very big API, so we'll be seeing it as a multiple parts. Today we'll wind up here, but tomorrow we'll see more useful methods.
So that's it for the day, Makali. Have a great day and see you all tomorrow.